Well, hello there, and welcome to Pop Culture. If you're new here, my name is Chelsea, and this is my channel where I'm sharing what I'm doing to build a beautiful life with what I have. Now, if we're old friends, welcome back, and I'm so excited to have you here. Let's have a chat. I'm going to share an ultimate guide on how you can have a merry little destination Christmas. I'll share some tips on how you can plan ahead and some things that you can do while on your trip. And I'll show you some examples on how our family did this on a recent trip to Nashville for the holidays. Let's get into it. So I want to mention before I get into the first tip that you can use this guide for your Christmas destination travel, or you can use it for any other holiday travel. It really works for anything. My first tip is to make sure that you plan well in advance, especially around the holidays, because a lot of people will be traveling. A lot of things will get booked up very fast. For example, my family and I were looking into going to the Biltmore Estates. We looked about 6 months in advance, and there was no rooms or lodging available for us at that time. So you'll want to get an early head start on planning. It's never too early to go ahead and decide where you want to go. So that will be a tough part, really deciding where you want to go. If you're traveling with several family members or friends, it might be difficult to select a destination that works for everybody. So one fair way to do this is to have each person that is interested in going, have them select a destination. Then you'll put all the destinations in a hat and you'll pull one. For this to work, everyone needs to agree that any destination that gets pulled or drawn from the hat will be the final say, and then we'll move on. Now, if they don't want to go on this trip, gotta let them go, honey.
Bye. See you when I see you. Goodbye.
You gotta tell them, well, join us for the next holiday trip, because that's the only way that you're gonna settle on a destination with a lot of people and move forward to your planning process. My next tip is to select accommodations that will suit the needs of everybody. And my recommendation personally, if you are traveling with a big group, even a small group of family members or friends, to stay at an Airbnb. The reason why is because it makes it more flexible for you to have everybody there together, and you're able to spend that holiday quality time together, and you're able to play games, you're able to cook if you would like, you can spend time together, you can chat. It's just the best way to spend the holidays, especially. And if you're selecting an Airbnb, I recommend in the destination that you're going to select an Airbnb that is centrally located, somewhere that is close to your main attractions, things that you want to go to, rather a short walk if you plan to do more walking, or if you drove to your destination or rented a car, I recommend finding a place that's close by. You'll really appreciate it when you get there. Oh, and I have one more Airbnb tip. If you decide to secure your accommodations through Airbnb, I recommend reaching out to your Airbnb host before you get there, just to ask any questions that you might have about check-in or about any house rules or anything that you need to know about the area. I like to do that just so that the arrival goes smoothly. I like to build a rapport with the Airbnb host. If you don't know, I am an Airbnb experiences host, which means I give tours in my city. I have designed my own tour, and I've been doing this for about a year now. And if you are interested in becoming an Airbnb experiences host and you want to know what that's like, leave a comment down below and I'm happy to share any information about that with you. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I traveled to Nashville for the Christmas holiday, and I traveled with my mom, my aunt, my sister, and my nephew. And we found this Airbnb that was right in the middle of downtown. It was a cute little condo, and when we walked in, we were in awe of the views. It was just all these big open windows, so we had a view of the city. It was absolutely perfect for us, for our group. We had a 2-bedroom condo. One of the bedrooms had 2 queen beds and a bathroom in that bedroom. Then we had a second bedroom that was a full king bed and a bathroom attached to that. And then in the living room, there was a bunk bed with 2 beds, one on top and bottom, of course. And it was perfect. We had plenty of room, and we were all comfy and cozy. And I have to say that it was perfect, again, as I mentioned before, to have a place right downtown. We were just a minute's walk from Broadway, which is the main area of one of the main areas of Nashville, one of the main streets in the entertainment district. So we could either walk or drive there. And we were only about a 15-minute drive from anything else that we wanted to go and do and see. That's why I recommend Airbnb. We had so much fun. We enjoyed playing games, and even went to the grocery store and grabbed some food to where we can cook. So that's another bonus tip that I have for you. If you're wanting to save a little change on your trip, I recommend going to the grocery store and buying some food that you can cook for at least one meal. We bought food that we could cook for our breakfast in the morning, and we bought snacks as well. So that saved us a lot of money, and we also saved time to be able to do the things that we wanted to do without going and having to wait and sit at a restaurant for breakfast. So those are my recommendations. Now, let's get into the fun stuff. What are the things that you should do when you're on your destination Christmas trip? Now, when I'm planning any trip, there are 5 categories of things when I'm choosing activities to do on a trip. There are 5 categories of things that I like to consider when selecting what to do. The first is a local cafe or bakery. The second is a restaurant that is exclusive to the area. A site that is also exclusive to the area. I also like to consider a museum or tour. And the last thing is an experience. So these are the 5 things that I like to consider on any trip. Now, if you'd like to see how I kind of map that out in those 5 different categories on another trip, go and check out one of my previous videos where I went to Toronto, and I'll try to add the link to that video here or in the info box below. But specifically for a holiday-based destination, I like to consider 3 of these. The first is, and I'll lump the first 2 together into food. I think when you're traveling to a new place or even a place that you've been before, it's very important, and it's a good thing to go and choose a place where you want to eat, find somewhere local so that you get the true experience. And that's another way for you to make memories. And the other area is a site in that place, in that particular destination. And the last is experience. So those are kind of the three areas that I'd like to focus on for the Christmas destination guide. And I think this will be helpful for you as well. Well, in our family, food really is so important to us. When we're traveling anywhere, we have to eat some good food. That's what we did in Nashville. And I have to say, Nashville is becoming one of my favorite food cities. I really had a great time there. We all did. So one of the places that we went to while we were in Nashville, we found a local bakery. It was called the Five Daughters Bakery. And this bakery is owned by a couple who has 5 young daughters. And it is a cute little spot that they had decked out in all the holiday spirit. It was like an elf theme, like the Elf movie.
Oh my God!
It was super cute. And there were so many Instagrammable picture photo spots in this cute little spot. I think this is one of several locations that they have in the area. And we looked at the donuts. Oh my gosh, the donuts, you could just smell how good and sweet and yummy they were before we even had a chance to taste. And yes, I know, for my gluten-free guys or gals like me, they did have gluten-free donuts. And I got the Thin Mint donut. It was so delicious. It tasted something like a chocolate Swiss roll. It was so
stuffing. Oh, yum.
Good. And so I highly recommend, if you're in Nashville, to go and check it out. But definitely, if you're on a Christmas destination trip, find a local bakery or cafe and just go and check it out and take pictures, bask in all the holiday glory, and have yourself a merry little time. Now, when we were at the Five Daughters Bakery the day before, we looked right across the street and we saw this restaurant that was packed. And we saw so many people going in and out of this restaurant. And on the outside, it looked like a little gingerbread house. So all of us were very curious. We were like, what is this place? And what is the appeal? Why are there so many people going in and out? So we were like, that's a place that I think we should try to check out. So the next day on Christmas Eve, that's what we did. We went to the Buttermilk Ranch, and it was a Christmas extravaganza, I have to say. They had everything decked out to the nines with Christmas holiday decorations. They had it everywhere, from the shelves to the ceiling to the walls, everywhere. It just put us in such a holiday spirit. They even had like a little mini cafe / bakery where you can it was like a fast casual place that you can walk into, grab a coffee, grab a drink, grab a pastry, and you can go in and out. But this is was also a breakfast restaurant, which I have to say, that's one thing I miss about going to the South, being in the South, is breakfast culture, guys. I love me some breakfast.
I like it a lot.
And the Buttermilk Ranch did not disappoint by any means. The food was so delicious. All of us got something that we really enjoyed and even took home to eat the next day. When you're traveling to a destination, I highly recommend that you go to a place that is a themed restaurant or something that has a local appeal, and even just leave room for some spontaneity. If you're out and about and you see somewhere that you might want to check out, especially if it comes to a restaurant, I think you should go for it and check it out. So, remember what I said about going to a site for your destination Christmas? That is exactly what we did when we were in Nashville. We went to one of the most popular Christmas sites in the city, and that was the Gaylord Opryland Resort and Convention Center. So we went there to bask in the holiday display of lights and joy. And we had just such a good time. So when you walk into the Gaylord Opryland, you will kind of walk into this beautiful hotel entrance, and then you'll go straight into the horticulture trek. That's what they call it. So it's kind of like a mix of a botanical gardens and a holiday lights display and show. So you walk in and you just take a breath and like, wow, it is so beautiful here. The lights are so beautiful. They have them strung across the entire little botanical gardens area that they have in there. And they even have this beautiful waterfall. And if you're interested and you want to go to this horticultural trek, I definitely highly recommend it. They even have a list of places where you can take photos, photo of your best selfie, which we did. And it's just such a beautiful place. They also have restaurants inside there, and I believe they eventually end up doing a light show. I'm not sure how often they do it, but while you're there, hopefully the show will go on where they play music and they kind of show of the lights. But it's really a beautiful experience, and if you're in Nashville, I highly recommend it. When you're on your Christmas destination trip, you should definitely go and check out a holiday themed site like the Gaylord Opryland Hotel. All right, y'all, we made it to the final category for things that you can do to have a merry little Christmas destination trip. And one of the activities that I recommend is selecting an experience of some sort. And this is very essential to having a great Christmas experience. A lot of different cities will do different events and have different experiences for Christmas. And that is what it was like when we went to Nashville. So, right a couple of blocks away from the Gaylord Opryland Resort, we just walked maybe about 5 minutes around the corner to ICE. Yes, it's called ICE in capital letters, ICE with an exclamation point. And boy, was it icy cold in there. Now, ICE is an experience that I believe the Opryland hosts every year, and they have different ice sculpture themes. And this year's theme was the Polar Express.
This is the Polar Express!
So we bought tickets. The tickets were around $60, 60 something ish dollars, but it all depends on what time that you go to have your experience. Because when we were looking at the tickets and we were trying to decide what time that we wanted to go that day, we noticed that the price changed based on what time. If you go closer to the closing time, you might not pay as much because you won't have as much time in the experience. Whereas if you go earlier in the day, you might pay a little more and have a little bit more time in there. So, ICE featuring the Polar Express was, oh my gosh, one of the most unique experiences that I've ever had, and my family, they've said the same thing. unique. So what we did is we walked in. There's like a little gift shop that's in there that you can walk around in before or after your ice experience. So we walked around in the gift shop for a little bit. Then we went and stood in the line. And before we actually entered into the ice experience, we had to put on these big blue parkas because inside the ice experience was very cold. I believe they said it was under 17 degrees. So cold, if I say so myself. So we all put on these parkas. I love the color, and I love that we were all dressed alike and going into this place that was super cute and just a wonderful experience. And I have to say that this is a great experience for all ages, from kids to adults. I think everybody can have such a wonderful time and get into the Christmas spirit with this experience. So we went in and they had these life-size ice sculptures of scenes from the movie The Polar Express. And oh my gosh, the detail on this ice was amazing. Some of the sculptures you couldn't even tell were ice. It was truly amazing. And I have to say, once we kind of went through, we saw that they had an ice slide. And so my mom and my nephew went down the ice slide, and I couldn't see where they were, so I didn't get to capture them coming down, but it was so much fun. And it's just such a great experience, and it was nice to be able to share an experience with other people like this. I love going to a public place and experience and enjoying something like this with strangers. I even talked to people along the way. We were smiling and laughing with other people that were there. So it was such a great experience. So when you go to your Christmas destination, I highly recommend that you go and find an experience that's going to be a good one for the family, people of all ages. Find something that will really get you in the Christmas mood and go and make those memories now. You got to do that. It's fun. It's great. And you can look back on it and really appreciate the time that you had with your loved ones. Well, that's all, folks. Thank you so much for sticking with me. And I hope that you're able to plan a very merry, wonderful Christmas destination trip or holiday destination trip sometime soon. Have any tips on places to go in Nashville? Leave the comment down below. And if you thought of any other destinations that you're thinking about going to, please share that. And I'd love to hear all about it and any recommendations that you have for places to go for Christmas or any other holiday destination. And again, I'll drop a link below for a previous video where I talk about going to Toronto. So you might want to check that out if you're interested in going there for your Christmas destination. And thanks again for joining me. And as always, peace and love to you. Bye. Well, hello there, Santa baby. Hello there. Welcome to Pop Culture. If you're new here, my name is Chelsea. Okay, stay there.